Christy, are you there? Did the wedding invite arrive yet? You didn't get back to me on whether you'd be coming or not, so I had no choice but to message you. Huh? What the? Listen to me, Mel. I already made it perfectly clear I had no intention of coming from the get-go, didn't I? Why would you go out of your way to send an invite when you already knew what the answer was? Wow, what am I even reading? This is your own brother's wedding we're talking about here. Of course you're coming. What about your duty to your family? What with the both of your parents having passed away, you'd be the only member of Kyle's family there. Are you really going to let him be all on his own like this? Don't you feel bad for your little brother? I don't need to be lectured about not coming to the wedding by the person who made me want to not come to the wedding in the first place. Besides, Kyle won't be on his own. He'll have you, your family, and his friends there with him. Huh? How did I make you not want to come to the wedding? What are you even talking about? Did you really think I didn't know? Oh, I know what this is about. Being a high school dropout really bothers you, doesn't it, Kirsty? Huh? It's fine, babe. You don't need to worry about that. It's a triviality. Anyway, we don't need you to have brains. Me and Kyle graduated university with flying colors after all, so we've got the intellect and achievement bases covered. Most of my family graduated university too. I totally get why you might feel ashamed and embarrassed about being a high school dropout, but honestly, you don't need to. We're not judging you for it, I promise. We're open-minded and accept people from all walks of life and backgrounds. That's not what I'm talking about. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that settles it. I'll put you down on the attending list. You can put me on whatever list you like. The bottom line is I'm not coming, and that's final. Yeah, whatever. Quit fooling me around already, Kirsty. You're obviously going to be there to support your little brother. Wow, you seriously don't get it, do you? Have you even realized why I don't want to come in the first place, or did it go straight over your head? Or are you doing this on purpose to tick me off? Yeah, whatever. Ugh, would you quit being so immature already? Anyway, you can say whatever you like. I'm not coming, and that's that. I amaze myself with how clever I am sometimes. It's no surprise I graduated university with brains like these. What are you talking about? I successfully switched jobs to something with better prospects and better pay. You switched jobs? Let's just say some things happened at my old job and I had to quit. I knew me and Kyle would be moving to a different town after the wedding anyway, so I figured I'd use me leaving the old place to find something more local with a more convenient commute. And guess what? A major global company just made me an offer I couldn't refuse. I'm the best. I doubt a high school dropout like you could ever accomplish anything like this. Wow, really? You actually got an offer that fast? You have no idea how hectic it was to find time to fit the interview in with the preparations for the wedding. I felt like I was barely getting time to eat, but boy, am I glad I went. I take it you changed your plans to become a full-time stay-at-home housewife then. Huh? I heard about you bragging to everyone about how you were going to quit your job when you got married because my brother Kyle's filthy rich due to being a top executive at one of America's most prestigious donut companies. That was... Oh, it's fine, Mel. You don't have to try and hide it or make excuses. I already know the reason. Huh? Anyway, I need to head back to work now, so... yeah, bye. I'm not sure I like your tone, Kirsty. This isn't over. Oh, and before I go, I know you can be slow and forgetful what with being a high school dropout and all, so allow me to remind you one more time. You're absolutely, positively, definitely, incontrovertibly, without a shadow of a doubt, coming to our wedding next month. And don't you forget it. It's gonna be a blast, and we wouldn't dream of celebrating without you there to share in our joy. Sis? Hello? The wedding's about to start, you know. Hurry up and get your ass down here. What are you talking about? Like I need to spell it out. Mine and Kyle's wedding is about to start, doofus. Oh, was that today? What? Of course it's today, and you know it. Quit playing dumb. I know you left the house wearing your best clothes this morning, so don't even try to hide it. That reminds me, I heard you moved into one of those apartments that was for sale in my neighborhood. I'm guessing that's how you appear to have been tracking my whereabouts. Jeez, you know, Mel, I was hoping you'd move as far away from me as humanly possible so I'd never have to deal with you again. But you had to go and move in practically next door to me, huh? Hey, wait a sec. No way. Did you get the wedding venue wrong? Huh? The wedding venue. Do you actually know where it is? We're doing it with a company called Matrimonial Magic Makers at their main wedding hall on 5th Street. Matrimonial Magic Makers? Oh, wow, I see. I'm guessing from your response. I knew it. Did you mix up the venue for your own brother's wedding? I guess it can't be helped. I should have written the invite in crayon so even a high school dropout like you could understand it. I'm pretty sure I already made this clear, but I had no intention of coming to the wedding to begin with, so there was no need for me to check where it was being held. Huh? I never planned on coming, so why would I waste my time? Waste your time? Mine and your brother's wedding is not a waste of time. I didn't bother to look at the date either. I'm at work today and I have a bunch of meetings with several important clients. That's the only reason I'm dressed especially smartly. Gotta make sure I leave a good impression, you know? Oh my God, are you serious? Hang on a sec, were you trying to pull a trick on me by intentionally writing the wrong wedding venue on my invite so I'd show up at the wrong place? You wouldn't do something so childish, would you, Mel? No way! I hit the nail on the head, huh? But now that I think about it, if you're getting married today, I take it you'll be absent from the new employee training session today then? What the hell? Today was supposed to be your first day at your new job, wasn't it? We generally train up new employees for the week before they officially start. But since you got hired outside of our usual hiring season, the plan was to train you up officially starting from your first day, today. You were made aware of the schedule over text and email, Mel. There was no reason you couldn't have let us know you wouldn't be able to make it. But it's a Sunday today. Well, the industry we work in isn't as subject to the weekday-weekend cycle as most others, which means a good chunk of our departments run just like normal on Sundays. What? It just so happens that your department is one of the many that work weekends. This, in combination with the fact that you were made aware you were supposed to be here, means there's no excuse for your absence. My coworker, the guy in charge of providing the newbie training, just sent me a message. The training course for our midterm recruitment newbies starts today. Can you believe one of them didn't show up on her very first day? Geez, Kirsty, where do we find these people? I won't send what came after that, but needless to say, he is furious. I think I did get some kind of training schedule over mail. Wait, are you telling me that was actually the schedule? I thought the part where it said I was in today was a mistake. If you thought it was a mistake, why didn't you make an inquiry? Surely that would have been the reasonable thing to do in this situation. 'Cause who the hell works on a Sunday? I figured it must have meant Monday, so I just ignored it. I was ready to come in tomorrow. Would you mind bearing with me for a little while, Mel? Thanks. I just checked with my coworker, and it turns out your shift today most definitely wasn't a data entry mistake. Huh? How the hell would you know that? Because my boss received a copy of the same training schedule that was sent out to all the newbies, and he just showed it to me. Huh? There are about half a dozen newbies starting today, and a few of them are going to be assigned to my department, which means my boss has access to all of the relevant materials. Wait, what the? Hang on a sec. Your boss? I thought you seemed weirdly knowledgeable about the inner workings of the company. Hang on, are you? Yep, bingo. I take it the penny finally dropped then? I work as a full-time employee at the company you received a provisional offer at. Oh my God, are you serious? Don't get me wrong, I have absolutely nothing to do with HR, which means I was astonished when I found out my little brother's soon-to-be wife just got assigned to my department. Anyway, we'll have to get this situation sorted out soon. What's it gonna be, Mel? What do you mean? Whether you go through with your wedding is, of course, entirely up to you, but you should know it'll mean going down on the system as an absence without notification on your first day of work, no less. Basically, it's going to mean you failed to attend the first day of your mandatory employee training course without good reason, and since the offer you received was provisional, is all but guaranteed to mean your chances of getting a full-time contract are pretty much zero. I won't fall for this. I know you're trying to trick me. Excuse me? Trick you? It's so obvious. I can read you like a book. This is clearly nothing but a huge crock of bullshit you cooked up in desperation to avoid the shame and embarrassment of admitting you got the venue for your own brother's wedding wrong. This is why you can't trust a high school dropout with anything. Oh, you're free to interpret this whole situation like that if it makes you feel better, but I think you're aware of how ridiculous the situation that I'd make something like this up is, Mel. No, it makes perfect sense. Anyway, this is your fault for not giving mine and your brother's wedding your blessing in the first place. If you would have just fulfilled your goddamn duty as his sister to begin with, none of this would be happening. How exactly do you work that one out? Your wedding and today's newbie training have nothing to do with each other. Even if I had gone to the wedding, you would have still been expected to be in today as long as you didn't inquire about your misunderstanding over which day it was on. So why won't you come to the wedding? You're the only family Kyle has left now that your parents are dead. Are you really gonna make me explain it to you? Yes, because none of this makes any frickin' sense. For real? Like, are you being serious right now? Whatever, you know what? It seems like you genuinely don't understand. Fine, it can't be helped. My brother Kyle was originally engaged to Michaela, your older sister, right? But you stole him from her by having an affair with him behind her back. So what? What's your point? Me and Kyle love each other, and that's all that matters. Who are you to try and stand in our way by dragging up the past like this? I'm not holding the fact you and my brother developed feelings for each other against you. It was the letting it develop into a full-blown affair while he was still engaged part that was despicable. Any decent human being would have waited until he'd broken off the engagement, or simply let go if he wasn't willing to. Huh? Naturally, I think you're despicable after demonstrating your absolute lack of virtue and moral fiber by tempting my brother into having an affair with you when you knew full well he was engaged to your sister. But I am also disgusted with my brother for meeting you halfway. If he has half a spine or a modicum of decency in him, he would have told you where to stick your seedy solicitations faster than you could say seedy two-bit whore. Which is why I was obviously never going to show up to the wedding, and to be honest, why I never want anything to do with either of you again for as long as I live. Besides, I already said all of this to Kyle. He knows I despise him and was never under any illusion I'd be at the wedding. So it genuinely baffles me that you didn't seem to get the message. Huh? You see, Kyle and I lost our parents in a traffic accident when I was still in high school. He was still in elementary school at the time, so I had no choice but to drop out so I could take care of him. I gave my everything to give him the best shot I possibly could at making something of his life. And how did he repay me? By coldly betraying your sister, one of the loveliest, most kind-hearted people I know, in the cruelest, most hurtful way possible. Huh? Anyway, Mel, it's time to make a decision. What's it going to be? Shall we go with an unpermitted absence from your first day at work and the beginning of your training course? Hello? Are you there? Why isn't there anybody here? Huh? I was messaging you in the bride's waiting room this whole time. I could hear some noise coming from the main hall around 20 minutes ago, but it was distracting me from our conversation, so I just locked the door and carried on talking to you. But I just got a message from Kyle saying nobody showed up to the wedding. Forget my friends, even my family and relatives didn't bother showing up. Where is everyone? Oh, I see. I wondered why you suddenly stopped replying. How would I know why no one showed up at your wedding? I didn't even know where it was being held or which day it was on, remember? But this makes no sense. There were supposed to be at least 30 people coming. And did you receive return letters confirming their attendance after sending out invites to all 30 of them? Of course I did. Like I'd forget something so simple. What the hell do you take me for? I see. Well, in that case, and this is just speculation, but is it possible they all agreed to cancel at the last minute behind your back? What? Why the heck would they do something like that? That's crazy. I won't say exactly who I heard this from. Let's just say it was a friend's brother's dog. But the word on the street is that you've always had a habit of stealing other women's boyfriends, and that you're not exactly the most popular girl in town, even among the people you call friends. Apparently everyone's been pretty cold towards Kyle since word got out he cheated on your sister with... Listen, Mel, I didn't come up with this. I'm just passing on the message, but apparently their nickname for you is the Town Whore. Oh my God, that's my nickname? And none of them showed up to my wedding? Ugh, this can't be happening. So yeah, I'm just speculating, but based on what I've heard, I'd say that's a pretty likely explanation for your current situation, wouldn't you? But I could always be wrong, there are other possibilities, so you really should get some confirmation before you go off and do anything rash. Oh my god, does everyone really hate me that much? This can't be happening, I was supposed to have a fairy tale wedding! About an hour after our last message, a woman in a wedding dress barged past security and sprinted up the stairs to our office as if she was possessed by some kind of demonic spirit. Needless to say, the police were called. The sight of Mel yelling, "I'm here for my training!" at the top of her lungs while being restrained by the slightly embarrassed security guard she blitzed past like a whirlwind only a minute before was one I'll never forget. It turned out my theory about the wedding guests plotting to cancel on Mel and my brother at the last minute was right on the mark. Apparently realizing they were no longer going to get any wedding gifts, they canceled the wedding and incurred a massive same-day cancellation fee. That, in combination with the compensation they both already owed Mel's older sister for the affair, must have been why Mel was so desperate not to lose her new job. She was so desperate, in fact, that she completely forgot to get changed and showed up at the office flailing around like an escaped mental patient in a wedding dress. Naturally, everyone at the company was mortified by the bizarre spectacle unfolding before their eyes, and she was fired right then and there. As for Kyle, he quit the same week, unable to bear now being the butt of every joke and the subject of every hushed conversation in the cafeteria. Last I hear, Mel and Kyle are currently spending their days in a cheap cockroach-infested apartment in the rough part of town while working like dogs to pay off their exorbitant debts.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.
Hey, Raina. Did you ignore my goddamn instructions again? How many times do I gotta tell you, we don't use the program with the weird icon, we use Word. You draw the ruled lines with Word, you type in the numbers, and you input the numbers you got from doing the calculations with the calculator on your desk. At this company, it's standard to practice to make invoices and purchasing order forms with Word before printing them out and handing them into the executive division. How about you start doing as I tell you for a change? What the hell's all this crap with this centralization feature you used? I don't know what it's for, and that ain't company policy. So quit it. Now.
Hello, Brian. I take it you mean the centralized administration system. A notice stipulating its use was handed down to all employees by the parent company a few days ago. You should have received both an email and a paper copy. It was part of a drive to increase efficiency across the board by the system's developer through streamlining the workflow of all employees, regardless of whether they work at parent company HQ, any of our branches, or at different departments within the same branch. This is the format we'll be using to input data from now on. If you don't learn how to use the app, it'll interfere with your ability to work in the manner prescribed to us by upper management, and the files you produce won't be cross-compatible with the rest of our systems.
Huh? Heck are you babbling on about, woman? Nah, no way. You're the one who has to learn my style of working, not the other way around. You know, it's precisely arrogant crap like this that makes everyone hate temps. If you're so desperate for my wise instruction, then I suggest you fall in line and obey the company policy on document creation, you lazy temp slacker.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it would appear the only one who needs technical instruction here is you.
Huh?
In fact, that's why I'm here. I was dispatched from the parent company after receiving a request to that effect.
Huh? What am I reading? You delusional as well as moronic, you lazy temp slacker. Listen to me, lady. You're new at this company. And while you're new, that means you have to follow the instruction and respect the authority of your senior workers. It's the law of the workplace. You might not like it, but we have our own way of doing things here. You don't get to pull new document creation methods out of your ass just because you don't like our process. Do you have any idea how much trouble you'll cause the company if you carry on ignoring the rules? Do I make myself clear? Good. I don't want to see you using anything but Word for data entry from now on.
Brian, all I did was create a piece of sample work based on actual data.
Huh?
Your department manager distributed paper instruction manuals on the new way of doing things to all employees earlier. So please kindly use that as your reference during all data entry work in the future. Of course, that means we'll be using the new system instead of Word, as is explained in the manual.
What the heck?
I'm not really saying anything that difficult, Brian. It's easy enough to understand if you just think of it as inputting numerical data into the new system using a calculator. Rather than relying on simply sequentially entering your results from the calculated data into Word, a method which is significantly prone to human error. The new system is geared towards collating the data with the pre-existing database to ensure a higher degree of accuracy and precision.
Quit making me repeat myself, moron. Like I said, you don't have the authority to arbitrarily come up with your own systems. We have a way of doing things at this company. If you don't like it, then get the hell out.
This isn't my system, and I didn't come up with it.
Quit trying to upset the harmony of the company and fall in line, peon. This is why everyone thinks temp workers are a scourge on humanity, should be eradicated from the face of the earth.
Wow, does everyone think that, Brian? Do they really? Or maybe, just maybe, is there a chance it's just you? Forget it. I may as well be talking to a brick wall. I'm just about to come to the end of my shift, so I'll be going now.
No. Wait.
I'll see you tomorrow, Brian. Good morning, Rena. I hope you're well today. How are things progressing with your technical instruction of the employees at the subsidiary company? I'm sorry I haven't been around much to check on your progress. My schedule has been so hectic since I became CEO. Good morning. That's fine. I understand that you're busy. I'll be compiling and submitting the interim report tomorrow morning. Excluding one employee, the instruction is going swimmingly and things are moving along as planned. Excluding one employee? Does that mean what I think it means? Yes. I don't want to sound rude, but Brian from sales is turning out to be an even bigger nuisance than I was warned he would be. He's proving to be a huge thorn in my side. In what way specifically? The rest of the employees remembered everything I told them about the new centralized administration system impressively quickly, and it's safe to say they've now completely phased out the use of other apps. But Brian is dead set on creating documents with Word and only Word. He just keeps calling me a lazy temp slacker while ignoring everything I tell him. He seems to have no intention whatsoever of learning the new way of doing things. I see. The company is moving away from the old paper-based system, which used Word doc files for things like invoices and purchase order forms in a drive to increase efficiency and encourage an overall streamlining of the work process. So even if he does carry on using Word, we won't be able to use anything he creates. Right? I've explained exactly that to him countless times, but it seems no matter how many times I tell him, or how easy to understand I try to make the explanations, nothing goes in. If I'm not mistaken, Brian is 43 now. He joined the company when he was 39 through his personal connections with the former CEO. But to be honest, he's been like this from day one. I'm not sure if he thinks he's free to do what he likes because he's related to the old boss. But even if that was the case then, his uncle isn't calling the shots anymore. He really is a nuisance. Our company is already behind enough as it is on digitalization compared with the rapid advances our competitors have been making over recent years. The last thing we need is stubborn employees with old-fashioned, fossilized ideas on how things should be done, preventing us from making any progress. I'll only be giving technical instruction at this branch for another week. I'm really going to have to do something about him before I finish up here. It sounds like you're having a rough time of it. No, it's nothing. I'm just doing my job. If he persists in refusing to listen, we'll be left with no choice but to consider the nuclear option.
God frickin' damn it. What the heck is it gonna take for you to learn to use Word, lazy temp slacker?
Hello, Brian. I assure you, I know full well how to use Word.
Liar. I'm very kindly going out of my way to try and teach you how to do your job, but you don't put the slightest bit of effort into trying to learn. Imagine having access to a teacher as exceptional and competent as I, and completely wasting the opportunity.
You're teaching me? No, I'm definitely the one doing the teaching here. As I previously told you, I was dispatched by the parent company to provide technical instruction to all employees regarding the new centralized data entry system.
What? Why'd you have to disobey me at literally every opportunity? Do you have daddy issues or something? This is the problem with lazy temp slackers like you. Nothing ever goes in until you screw up and learn the hard way. I was hoping it wouldn't have to come to this, but it's time you learned a lesson. How'd you like them apples, bitch? Told off and double slapped in the face in front of the entire company at the morning meeting. First, I went in with the beautifully executed open hand slap, marvelously followed up by the breathtaking backhand. Boom! Double whammy.
Apparently, there was a mistake in the numerical data on the documents I submitted, because Word, and not the new centralized system, had been used to compile them.
Yep, and you only have yourself to blame.
That's not my job, Brian. I'm tired of telling you now, but you were clearly instructed to use the new centralized system for all data entry tasks.
And I'm tired of telling you that you don't get to arbitrarily invent your own way of doing things, because our company already has rules in place for stuff like this.
No, Brian. This has nothing to do with me personally. All employees were notified that this is how we'd be doing things from now on.
Quit barking orders at me, you filthy, arrogant temp scumbag. You getting bitch slapped just now was the punishment for your mistake. This is what you get for ignoring my instructions, you filthy temp slacker. Do you understand how powerful I am at this company compared to you? I'm a full-time employee. You're not even worthy of breathing the same air as me.
Brian, by any chance, do you think I was dispatched here by a staffing agency for temp workers?
Huh? Why would you ask me such a dumb question after all this time? I know exactly why you're here. Because you got sent by the parent company to receive technical instructions for being deemed totally useless and incompetent for your constant, never-ending failures. They probably felt too sorry for you to fire you, since you're so pathetic. Oh, luckily for you, I took it upon myself to be your mentor, but all you've done is throw it back in my face. Why'd you think I'm so kindly trying to teach you how to do data entry using Word? If I didn't teach you, you'd probably end up getting depressed and killing yourself. Because of your constant failures.
You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
Huh?
I'm the parent company's technical advisor.
What?
I'm a full-time employee at the parent company's head office systems management department. I didn't come from a staffing agency. I'm a full-time employee, and I was dispatched here by the parent company as a technical advisor to provide instruction to all employees on the use of the new centralized data entry system that was recently implemented.
Huh?
I was told you were notified of everything I just told you in advance of my arrival.
Wait, what?
Besides, due to the nature of the work we do at this company, we never used temporary workers from staffing agencies. The entire company consists of directly contracted full or part-time workers. Don't you think it'd be strange if an agency temp suddenly showed up one day out of the blue, despite the company having zero precedent for employing people on that basis?
What with?
I'm currently in the medical office having an ice pack applied to my swelling cheeks after being slapped. There's a small cut on the inside of my mouth, too.
So, what's your point?
The company president would like to see you. Please make your way to her office immediately.
The president? Oh, man. Hey, Raina, what the heck did you go and do, and what are you gonna do to make up for it? I got told to stay home and not come into the office thanks to you. The president told me she was going to think about how to deal with me, but it is pretty much a dead certainty I'm going to end up getting fired. I'm going to be unemployed again soon at this rate. I can't go back to being jobless. God damn it, to think I finally landed myself a stable job after my uncle, the old CEO, pulled a few strings and got me into the company. What are you going to do to make this right? Hey, stop ignoring me. I'm talking to you, idiot. Say something. Hey, Raina, admit it. You have the hots for me, don't you? I was thinking about it all evening last night and it finally dawned on me. How did I not realize it all this time? The reason you were so rebellious and domineering with me was because you were playing hard to get, wasn't it? In that case, the solution here is easy. We're gonna get married. You're gonna be my provider. Yeah, think about it. It's entirely your fault I lost my job, so now you're gonna make up for it by putting a roof over my head, feeding me, clothing me. If you swear to give me your hand in marriage and provide for me for the rest of your life, well, I'll forgive you for getting me fired. All right, sweet. Now we've agreed on our future together. It makes more sense for me to voluntarily resign than let them fire me. This way, if I jump before I'm pushed, I still get to keep all the money I've been putting into the pension scheme all these years. I bet they're going to be so frustrated when I hand in my resignation before they can fire me. They did tell me I wasn't to come into the company while they were deciding on my punishment, so guess I'll have no choice but to leave my resignation in the postbox. What the heck? Raina, goddamn you, you're already married? Explain yourself. When I reported my resignation and our engagement in the office group chat, they told me you're already married with kids. How dare you trick me, you cheating worm?
Would you be quiet for once?
Excuse me?
Rena didn't say a thing about agreeing to marry you, did she?
Huh?
Sorry to message you from Rena's phone like this, but I didn't have your number.
Who the hell are you?
Penny Williams, CEO.
What? The CEO? No way. You can't be.
Whether you believe me or not makes no difference whatsoever. Your abuse towards Rena was getting so severe that I felt I had no choice but to intervene personally.
But Penny, why would you do that? Don't you have more important things to do, being the CEO and all?
Rena is the daughter of my childhood friend, and I've known her since she was a little girl.
What?
The reason Rena was dispatched to your office as a technical advisor was because I put in a request with the parent company that she be the one to deliver instruction on the new system.
Rena's friends with the CEO?
Yes, but let me make it clear that the reason she occupies such a senior position at the parent company has nothing to do with me, or personal connections with anyone else for that matter. She got to where she is with nothing but hard work, dedication, and commitment to her responsibility. Oh, that reminds me. I understand you've decided to resign voluntarily. I'm hereby notifying you that your resignation has been received and accepted. Leaving of your own volition may have been a wiser decision than waiting to be dismissed. However, you won't be receiving a cent of the money you've been putting into the pension scheme during your years at the company. All of it will be going to Rena in the form of compensation for the awful treatment you've subjected her to.
What?
Rena's husband was furious. Apparently, he is threatening to file criminal charges against you with the police for slapping her in front of the entire company at morning call.
Criminal charges?
Not that that's in the least bit surprising. Slapping your coworker in the face was obviously going to make you liable for charges of battery or inflicting bodily injury, especially when there were so many witnesses.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Rena tells me your lawyer will be taking care of all the proceedings from now on. You'll be receiving a message from him over the coming days.
God, am I gonna get arrested?
My husband, who had been crazy worried about me throughout this whole ordeal, took care of everything involving the legal proceedings for me after that. As for Brian, lacking any knowledge in the ways of the world, he had no choice but to leave it to his parents to take care of his dire situation. Thankfully, and somewhat surprisingly, they seemed like decent, reasonable people, and all of our talks went by smoothly and without a hitch. They agreed to pay compensation, and with that, I dropped the charges against him. At first, my husband was so furious he insisted I don't drop the charges, no matter what. But when, as part of our settlement talks, Brian's parents suggested they send their son to work at a company famous for reforming social delinquents, such as ex-cons, domestic abusers, and drug addicts, he decided to compromise, being moved by the genuine sincerity and remorse they showed during the talks. Who knows, maybe there's hope for Brian to become a decent human being yet. Apparently, Brian threw the mother of all tantrums the day he was to be sent off to the company's dormitory, and bundling him into the car proved to be a challenge for his parents. But last I heard, while he is still going through some growing pains and the occasional stint of depression, he spends his days working diligently under the firm but fair guidance of his seniors at his new workplace.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and hit the like button. See you next time.